Hello, it's Erev Yontif, and I'm going to record Daf Pei Dalid. We're holding at the last two words of Pei Gimel Amid Beis. But let's get into the sugi a little bit. The Mishnah said that a sfina is not mekabel tumah because there's a pasuk derech aniyah belev yam. So the pasuk compares an aniyah boat to a yam, just like a yam is not mekabel tumah, a boat is not mekabel tumah either. Hananya says a boat is not mekabel tumah for a different reason. The Torah lists objects that are mekabel tumah, made of cloth, made of wood, made of leather, and sack, which is goat's hair. So we compare everything to a sack, just like a sack can be manipulated when it's full or empty, so only those kalim that can be manipulated both full and empty are mekabel tumah. Since a boat is too big to manipulate when it's full, so therefore a boat is not mekabel tumah. What's the difference between the Mishnah and Hananya? The difference is if you had a boat made out of clay. According to the Mishnah, no matter what it's made of, the boat is compared to the sea. The sea is not mekabel tumah, the boat is not mekabel tumah. But according to Hananya, only the materials of the pasuk have to be able to be manipulated full and empty. Cheres is not one of the materials of the pasuk. Therefore, it would be mekabel tumah, even though you can't manipulate it. Another difference would be, what about a canoe, a small canoe? According to the Mishnah, a canoe is not mekabel tumah because it's compared to the sea. The sea is not mekabel tumah, so the canoe is not mekabel tumah. But according to Hananya, since the canoe, even if it's made of wood, but you can carry it, you can load it with stuff and carry it. Two people can carry it to the water, so therefore it's mekabel tumah. So Amar Rava, so Rava says, top of Pedalid now, but according to Hananya, that a canoe that you manipulate, that you can carry, is mekabel tumah. So tiltal they shvarim shemay tiltal. Even if the boat is big, but it can be moved by oxen when it's on land, it's also considered mitaltal mole v'reikon. Taisvus only explains the reason why a ship is not called mitaltal mole v'reikon as it moves on the sea. So Taisvus says because it's not the boat that's moving, it's the water that's moving. Doesn't quite explain. But there's a sugya in Baba Metzia that talks about a chotzer, kinyan chotzer, and a chotzer can't be a chotzer ma'alechas, it can't be a mobile chotzer, but you could be kind of a kinyan chotzer on a boat. Why? Because there also it says the same idea, that the boat is stationary but the water is moving. But what does that mean? The boat can't be stationary, it takes off in America and ends up in Europe. But pshat is, the sack also moves. The sack moves because people carry it from place to place. And a wagon also moves, and the wagon has oxen that move from place to place. So the ship also moves, but the difference is when a person carries a sack or the oxen move the wagon, the ground under it is stationary. So the top moves and the bottom is stationary. But by a boat, since the top moves but the bottom also moves, the water is moving in the other direction, so therefore it's not daima to a sack, and therefore it's not mekabel tumah. Now, how do you know that moving a wagon al yedei oxen allows it to be mekabel tumah? It's called mitaltal mole v'reikon. There's a Mishnah in Kalim, Sholish Agolos Hain. There's three kinds of wagons. You have a small chariot that's called Asuya Katedra. It's made like a small chariot to sit on, so it's mekabel tumei medris. It's mekabel tumas medris because it's meant to sit on. If it's kamita, if it's a wagon which is a frame and has a leather floor which is meant to hold merchandise, so there it's not mekabel tumas medris because it's not meant for a person to sit on or lie on, but it's tumei tumas meis. It's mekabel tumas maga because it's a keli. But shalavonim tara miklum. They used to have a wagon that had board slats going back and forth, but there were holes in the slats, and if the holes were large, it's not mekabel tumas medris because it's not meant to lie on; it's meant to carry stones, and it's not even mekabel tumas maga because the holes in the floor of this wagon, it's carrying large stones, so there's holes though. Doesn't make it a keli to be mekabel tumah. Rabbi Yochanan adds, but if the slats don't leave smaller holes, the pomegranates would not fall through, then tmeya tumames. Then it could be mekabel tumas maga because the holes are not as big as rimoinim. We continue, and then we'll come back to show you the proof that a wagon that moves through oxen is also called mitaltal mole v'reikon and it's mekabel tumah. The Mishnah then says, Sholish Teva, saying you have three kinds of big boxes. Now, Teva shepischa mitzida tmei midris. If you have a big box, but the opening of the box is vertical, it's on the side, the top of it is solid. So it's mekabel tumas midris, because I guess it was meant people would lie down on top of the box and take a rest. So therefore it's mekabel tumas midris. If it's open milmala on top, so you can't lie down on it, it's open on top. But tmei tumei meis, it's still a container. And as a container, it can be mekabel tumas maga. But Habab Mida, if it's a huge box that's too big to be metaltal mole v'reikon, so then it's Torah miklum. then it's open on top, so it's not mekabel midras, because you can't lie down on it, and it's too big to move, so it's not mekabel tumas maga. The question is why in the previous Mishnah, when it was talking about a wagon, didn't it also say that a wagon that's so big, haba b'mida, that it's too hard to push or pull, it's also not mekabel tumah, just like it did with the box? The answer is because the wagon can be pulled by oxen, and a wagon that's pulled by oxen is called mitaltul malei v'reka. Now we start a new sugya. Tana Rabbanan, the Rabbanan taught in the Braisa, a chiddush which we're going to explain later. Midras kli cheres tar. If you have something which is made out of clay, it can't become tamei b'tumas midras. And Rabbi Yossi says afasfina. We don't know what Rabbi Yossi means. Also the ship. My kamar, what's going on? So everybody's going to try to repair this Braisa in order to make it heads and tails. Amar Rav Zvid says, let me tell you, hachi kamar. I'm going to correct the Braisa. Midras kli cheres tar. I repeat that a kli cheres can't become tamei tumas midras, but a magoi tamei. But a kli cheres can become tamei tumas maga. How? Of course, we know not from its exterior, but if you touch its interior or tumas in the interior, it's tamei. But a sfina shel cheres tameim. But a sfina made of clay is also tamei. And why? Kechananya, like chananya, because the cheres is not one of the materials in the pasuk, so it doesn't matter that it's not metaltal malei v'reikan. And Rabbi Yossi says afa sfina tahira. He says a sfina is also tar. Even a sfina shel cheres is tar. Why? Because ketana didan. Because like the Tana of our Mishnah, compared to a sfina to the yam, just like the yam is not mekabel tumah, a sfina shel cheres is not mekabel tumah either. Maskef Rav Papa says, I don't understand something. According to the Tanakama, what did he say? That a kli cheres can't be a midras, but it could become tumas maga. So it's tamei tumas maga. So then my af, when Rabbi Yossi says af asfinas tahira, the sfina is also tar in addition to what else? The Tanakama didn't say anything is tar. So Elamar of Papa, so Rav Papa decides he's going to resect this Braisa, and Hachi Kamar. He's going to add more words, a new Braisa. Midras kli cheres tar. Once again, for the third time, anything made of cheres cannot become tamei tumas midras. Umagoi, but a kli cheres can become tamei tumas maga. Is tamei. Of course, I'm repeating for the third time, not from its exterior, but only if tumah is in its interior. A keli shalaitz, bein midrasi, bein magoi tamei. A klietz can both be a midras if it's meant to lie down on. It can become tumas maga because a klietz is mekabel tumah. Sfinas Hayarden says that Tanakama, here he's going upside down, Tahira. Sfinas Hayarden is Tor. Now why would Sfinas Hayarden a canoe be Tor? Ketana Didan, because the Tan of our Mishnah says, Ma Yam Eina Mekabel Tumah, Av Sfina Mekabel Tumah. So even a canoe is not Mekabel Tumah. Rabbi Yossi says that just like a Klietz is Mekabel Tumas Midras and Tumas Maga, just like a Kli Cheres can have Tumas Maga, a sfina of a canoe of the Yarden is also Tameya. That's why he's changing to the word Tameya. And why is it Tameya? Kechananya. Because Chananya says that a sfinas ha-Yarden is Tameya because it's Metaltul Malei V'reka. Now Midras, Kli Cheres Manola in the Torah. How do you know a Midras of a Kli Cheres is tar? How do you know kli cheres can't become tamei tumas midras? So there's two brises, 1 and 2. Amar Chizkiya, the Makro, the pasuk says, "Visha sheyiga b'mishkavai." Mishkavai means mishkav shaloi, the mishkav of the zav. So Makish we compare mishkavai loi, the mishkav to the zav. Mahu islay tar b'mikvah. Af mishkavai nami islay tar b'mikvah. The zav can have tar b'mikvah. So to be a mishkav, it also has to have tar b'mikvah. And a kli cheres we know does not have tar b'mikvah. The Rabbi Shmuel is besmedish that a similar drasha, kemishkav nidasa yala. So we compare the mishkav to the nida. Makish mishkav Allah, we compare the mishkav to the nida. Mahi isla tar b'mikvah, just like a nida has tar b'mikvah. Af mishkav nami isla tar b'mikvah. To be a mishkav, you have to have tar b'mikvah. And once again, lafuke kli cheres, the less like tar b'mikvah. Kli cheres doesn't have tar b'mikvah, therefore it can't be a mishkav. So we have two makayres that a kli cheres can't be a mishkav, either because we have to compare the mishkav to a zav, or we have to compare the mishkav to a nida, and either way, a zav and a nida have tar b'mikvah, so mishkav has to have tar b'mikvah. So it comes out, that in order to have tumas midras, you have to have tar b'mikvah. A sophisticated kasha coming up. Masev Rabbi Lo asks the kasha, is this true? In order to be a midras, you have to have tar b'mikvah. Halachah mapatz b'meis minai, and how do you know that a mat made of wooden reeds is mekabel tumas meis? So v'dinhu, I'm going to make you a kal v'chaimer. Ma pachim ketanim shetorim bezav tmeim b'meis. Take a very small clay utensil that has a narrow opening. So first of all, a small utensil is not roy lemidris. You don't lie down on small utensils, and it's not mekabel tumas magi either because the opening is too small to even get your finger into it. But nevertheless, this small kli chayres, if it's an oil ameis, is mekabel tumah. So ma'apetz, a mat of reeds, shetamei bezav, that can become tamei tumas medres, right, which is more chamur than the pachim ktanim, is ein edin shetamei b'meis. So sure, the ma'apetz becomes mekabel tumas meis. Fraging more, and why did you assume that the mat is mekabel tumas midras? L'chayra less leitara b'mikvah. L'chayra, since this mat doesn't have a base kibble, and the pasuk that talks about being metar things in a mikveh are things that are made of like before, and the klietz had to be a klietz sheyes lo base kibble. So why does this mat have tahara b'mikveh if it doesn't have a base kibble? So if it doesn't have a base kibble, ain't no tahara b'mikveh. So why is the mat mekabel tumas midras? Well, you see, the mat actually doesn't have a base kibble, but the mat is made of wood. And when wood has a base kibble, it does have tahara b'mikveh. So therefore the mat, which is made of wood, even though it doesn't have a base kibble, also has like tahara b'mikveh. May Hashem save us from this idea. In other words, you're telling me, if the mishkav is compared to the zav, then the zav himself has tahara b'mikveh. So the mishkav itself should have tahara b'mikveh. Not that the mishkav is made of a material that when it has a base kibble, it has a tahara b'mikveh. May Hashem save me from your narrow-mindedness, because I'm telling you the halacha is right. V'tamamai, and I'll tell you the reason. Trei kroi ksivi, listen to me, says Rab Chanina. There's two psukim. Ksiv isha she'iga b'mishkava. You remember mishkava was mishkav shel loi. So that taught, and ksiv there's another pasuk, kol mishkav ashishkav alav azav yitma. Kol mishkav ashishkav alav yitma. Why are the two psukim? Okay, it's Yesh b'minai avagav delesle tahara b'mikveh, and ein b'minai is makish mishkavei loy. The pasuk that says isha she'iga b'mishkavei means the mishkav has to be similar to him. He has tahara b'mikveh. The mishkav has to have tahara b'mikveh. But the other pasuk says kol mishkav ashishkav alav azav. Any mishkav is a mishkav. What does that mean? Any mishkav is a mishkav as long as its material could have tahara b'mikveh. So it expands. The first pasuk that says mishkavai would have had to be dafka like him. He has tahara b'mikveh, so the mishkav has to have tahara b'mikveh. The next pasuk, kol mishkav ashishkav alav azav yitma, expands and says that even though it does not have tahara b'mikveh, because it doesn't have a base kibble, but if it's made out of wood that could have tahara b'mikveh, when it has a base kibble, therefore it also has tumas medras. I'm going to pause here. I'll record the second part a little bit later.